For this video, we'll be taking apart the Poco F8 Ultra. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified once I upload a new video. Also, if you need any tools, there are links in the description. To start off, we need to remove the SIM tray. Taking a look at the SIM tray, we can see an orange rubber gasket around the opening. Now heat needs to be applied to the backplate using either a hairdryer or a heat gun to loosen up the adhesive underneath, and then a pry tool can be used to pry the backplate off. I prefer to use a hairdryer since there's less of a chance of damaging any of the components inside by overheating them. Here's a better look at the denim-like backplate. The lens covers can be replaced by applying heat and gently prying them off, so you don't have to take apart the phone to replace those. At this point, there are 19 Phillips screws which need to be removed. The large speaker assembly is separate from this plastic assembly. So this is the rear speaker, which is basically the independent subwoofer. There's a rear microphone located here, an LED flash located below that, an infrared or IR blaster, and the rear ambient light sensor. And this is the wireless charging coil. As for the NFC antenna, it's incorporated above the wireless charging coil. Looking at the other side, we have a better look at the graphite film, which helps to transfer heat. The battery cables can now be disconnected, followed by the rest of the cables. The coaxial cables can be disconnected by just popping them off. Taking a look at the main board, we see the 50 megapixel primary camera, which uses a Light Fusion 950 sensor, a 50 megapixel periscope telephoto lens, and a 50 megapixel ultra-wide lens. The main camera and periscope telephoto lens both have OIS or optical image stabilization. The camera connectors can be disconnected by just popping them off. There's a secondary microphone on the top corner, as well as some copper tape located here. Looking at the other side, we see the 32 megapixel front-facing camera, as well as graphite film, copper tape, and thermal paste on the back to help transfer heat. Once the copper film has been peeled back, we see additional thermal paste on top of the LPDDR5X RAM, which is seated over the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 processor. Here's a better look with the thermal paste cleaned off. When it comes to removing the battery, there is a pull pouch provided to help you pry it off. This is the 6500 mAh dual cell silicon carbon incorporated battery. And this is the bottom speaker assembly. There was also some graphite film over it to help transfer heat. There was also an antenna board to the side of the speaker. This flex cable connects the main board to the subboard, and the flex cable for the screen is connected to the subboard. So if you needed to replace the screen, you'd have to remove the back plate, the screws on the bottom speaker assembly and the assembly itself. You'd then disconnect the flex cables on the subboard and remove the subboard, giving you access to the screen cable, at which point you'd heat up the front of the phone where the screen is to loosen up the adhesive underneath, pry the old screen off, apply new adhesive and reapply the new screen, making sure you run the flex cable back to the opening in the mid-frame, and reassemble the phone. Taking a look at the subboard, we see a red rubber gasket around the charger port, and the primary microphone is located underneath this covered shield. The SIM reader is located on the other side. The X-axis linear vibrator motor is located here, which is held on with some adhesive. To replace that or remove that, apply some heat and gently pry it off. The same goes for the earpiece speaker, which is located on top. There's a rubber gasket and filter over the microphone and speaker openings on the frame. On this one, if you were to accidentally insert a SIM ejector tool in the wrong hole, you wouldn't need to worry since the filter and the microphone are seated above the hole, so the microphone wouldn't get damaged. Once the flex cable has been peeled back, we have a look at the large vapor chamber which runs underneath the battery as well as the motherboard. To replace the flex cable for the volume keys and power button, the black plastic bracket inside the slit of the frame needs to be pulled out, and then the flex cable can be peeled off and removed. To remove the buttons, there are two black plastic tabs inside of the cuts in the frame, which will need to be pulled out to release those buttons. And the proximity and ambient light sensor board is located here, which is also held down with some adhesive. For the repairability score on this phone, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to put the phone back together. Once everything's back in place, apply new adhesive and reapply the back cover. Flip over the phone, power it on, and you're done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.